Golf is expensive, and if there's one place that I found you can save a lot of money each and every single round, it's golf balls. We all lose them, and a while back I did a poll on the channel, and nearly half of the 4,000 folks who answered lose between 3 and 12 balls per round. With premium balls running upwards of $60 per dozen, that can get very expensive very quickly. It can double the cost of a round. Which is why the budget-friendly Costco golf balls have been such a fan favorite over the years. For just over $1 a ball, they've offered great performance for those looking to save a little bit of cash. And that's me. And this year, for the first time ever, Costco has some serious competition from a warehouse rival. Sam's Club is now offering a premium ball at an affordable price under its Members Mark brand. Now, I do love me some Costco. I would say that I'm probably the biggest Costco golf fanatic on the entire internet. But I'm also willing to give everything a shot. So today, we're going to go head to head with the Sam's Club ball versus the Costco ball. And we're gonna find out together who makes the best warehouse golf ball. Now, there have been a number of iterations of the Costco golf ball, so I specifically want to mention that we're comparing the newest Kirkland Signature golf ball, the version 3.0. It has a box with a red stripe on it. This ball has had some changes over the previous version, so I wanna make sure you know which ball I'm using here for comparison. We're gonna be testing them on a number of categories, including price, aesthetics and feel, indoor launch monitor testing, outdoor on-course performance, and lastly, durability. And at the end of this video, I'm going to crown what I think is the best warehouse golf ball of 2025. And I do think there's a clear winner. Let's get to work here and find out if the Members Mark or Kirkland Signature ball is going to take the crown. All right, our first category here is price. So in store, both the Kirkland Signature and Members Mark ball are essentially the same price. Packaged as a 2-dozen value box, Costco has theirs at $27.99. And Sam's beats them by a single penny, pricing them in at $27.98. But if you're a person that doesn't get in store too much, or just somebody who likes to order from the website, that's where there can be a significant difference. Sam's Club retains the same price of $27.98 online, but Costco adds a premium, making them $34.99 to buy online. Now, there are some caveats here because standard shipping is free from Costco. However, Sam's will charge you a shipping fee depending on your zip code. In my case, it was $5.61, unless you're a Plus member and spend at least $50, and then your shipping is going to be free. So basically, in store, it's a toss-up, but online there is a slight edge to the Sam's Club ball, especially for you Plus members. Moving on to aesthetics and feel. We'll start with packaging here. While it has nothing to do with the actual performance of a ball, I have found, testing hundreds and thousands of products here on Let's Play Through, that companies that put a little extra care and attention to detail into the packaging generally have a better product. It's not always the case, but it's quite often the case. Here, Costco is the clear winner with much more detail about the ball's construction and performance displayed on its packaging. It's overall just a better design. Now, interestingly, Sam's Club seems to have modeled all of its golf packaging from Costco. The gloves come in nearly identical packages, for instance. And so do these balls. Both oversized boxes are identical in shape and size, and both contain 2 standard 1-dozen boxes inside. It should be noted, though, that these balls do not get made in the same factory, and I know we've had some questions about this on the channel. Costco balls list China as the country of origin, while Members Mark balls are being produced in Vietnam. When it comes to the look of the ball itself, I'm going to give the nod to the Members Mark golf ball. I think the Kirkland Signature logo is long overdue for a revamp, and while I don't necessarily love the Members Mark logo either, I think it's a little more tastefully executed. I also prefer the bolder alignment arrows on the Members Mark ball, which makes lining up putts just a bit easier. I'll also note the dimples are a bit more pronounced on the Sam's ball, providing just a bit sharper edge to them. The Costco ball has more of a bright white paint job, while the Sam's ball has a richer, just slightly off-white finish to it. Now, in terms of construction, both are 3-piece balls. And while 2-piece balls can often feel hard and one-dimensional, generally speaking, a 3-piece construction allows for more diversity, usually a bit better spin characteristics, and certainly better feel. Now, speaking of feel, the Members Mark ball wins it for me in this category. The sound and feel of this new Costco ball is really off-putting. It's very clicky and harsh sounding when you strike it, especially when you're hitting a driver. And while the Sam's Club ball isn't exactly the most buttery golf ball I've ever played, it's considerably better and more premium feeling than Costco's. Sam's website lists the compression around 90. Yes, they actually put around on there. How's that for marketing? And while Costco's site doesn't list the compression spec, I would say, just by feeling it, I feel like it's a little harder. And if I were to venture a guess, I would say that compression number is right around 100, give or take. Now, if you know this number or you know someone who's tested it and knows this for sure, I would love to know. So feel free to leave me a comment. So now it's time to actually judge these balls based on their performance. Now, I tested them both outdoors as well as indoors here in my studio. I think it's important to see the stats that come off of a launch monitor, but equally as important to see how the balls handle real-world conditions. For my launch monitor testing, I used a wedge, a 7-iron, and a driver to get an idea of what these balls do throughout the bag. Now, a couple caveats about the testing itself. I didn't just test one ball from each brand. I actually used multiple balls from each box. That way, we could make sure it wasn't just one particular ball that was giving us a particular result. I also swapped between balls quite a bit during my testing, so fatigue didn't play a role in the stats we got. On this particular day, my swings were really consistent, so I am very confident in the stats that I'm going to show you here on screen. So first off, we'll start with the wedge. And again, I always like to make sure that we're apples to apples. So with the Costco wedge, my club head speed on average was 75.3 miles per hour, and it was 75 miles per hour with the Sam's Club wedge. So just a tad bit more swing speed with the Costco wedge. Now moving on to ball speed, 94 miles per hour with the Costco balls and 93.6 miles per hour with the Sam's Club balls. So that makes sense because the club speed was just slightly higher with the Costco wedge, but all in all, fairly negligible, very similar swings here. Now moving on to launch angle, 25.8 degrees with the Costco balls, and the Sam's balls went 27 degrees. So these balls are a little bit higher launching. I saw this out on course, which we'll talk about as well. In terms of backspin, we're actually getting, and this was surprising to me, more backspin from the Costco balls on average. 7,261 RPMs to 6,143 RPMs, so about 1,000 RPM difference there. Now the descent angle also slightly steeper in the Sam's balls favor, 49 degrees to 48.7 degrees. Pretty similar really though. Now, carry numbers, 121.1 yards was what we got with the Costco balls, and 122.1 yards we got with the Sam's Club balls, and that equated to a similar little extra roll out there with the Sam's Club balls as well. All in all, fairly similar in terms of wedge stats. Nothing really stands out other than the Sam's ball is a little bit higher trajectory with a little less spin, and the Costco ball is spinning more, but it's coming in a little bit shallower. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. All right, moving on here to the 7-iron testing. Again, I had very similar swings with both of these clubs. Contact was very similar. I'm not a robot, but this is as close as I could possibly be. When it came to club head speed, it was 78.2 on average for the Costco balls and 78.4 for the Sam's balls. So we're within 0.2 miles per hour. Again, that's about as good as I could possibly do. Now, when it came to ball speed leaving the club, Costco balls left the club at 107.6 miles per hour on average and 107.8 miles per hour on average for the Sam's balls. Again, indicative of the club head speed being just slightly higher with the Sam's balls there. In terms of backspin, just like we saw with the wedges, there's more spin being generated off the 7-iron here. For me, 43.97 on average for the Costco balls and 38.49 for the Sam's balls. It's a very low number actually. But again, spin isn't everything. So if we look at launch angle, the Sam's balls are launching higher once again here. 18.6 degrees coming off the Costco balls and 19.6 degrees, a degree more coming from the Sam's balls. And then the descent angle is also different. 42 degrees with the Costco balls, 42.5 degrees with the Sam's Club balls. When it comes to carry, Costco 153.1 yards, and Sam's really showing up here at 156.9 yards. Now that is a very significant distance difference between these two balls. 5 yards of carry is going to matter on a golf course, and that's very interesting to see on similar club head speeds. I did see this out on course too, and again, we're going to get to the course stats here in just a second, but the Sam's Club ball with the 7-iron considerably further, and you can also see this in the dispersion map. You can see the 7-irons carrying significantly further with the Sam's Club balls than the Costco balls. We also saw it with the wedges, and again, we're gonna see it with the driver here. So when it comes to the driver, I took my swing speed down just a little bit so that I could be as relatable as possible for the average golfer who's probably gonna be playing these balls. This is the channel for mere mortals after all. So 96.4 mile per hour with the Sam's Club ball and 95.4 miles per hour with the Costco ball using a driver. 1 mile per hour difference. And in case you're wondering, efficiency, the same with both of these clubs, 1.45 smash factor with both the Sam's and the Costco balls here, leaving the driver. So this should be good apples to apples. Now let's see how it equated to ball speed numbers. 140 mile per hour with the Sam's Club balls, 138.2 with the Costco balls. So 1.8, just under 2 mile per hour difference there between them. Now launch angle, again, higher with the Sam's driver, 14.5 degrees to 13.7 degrees with the Costco. And when it comes to descent angle, again, just slightly steeper with Sam's at 35.3 degrees to 34.5 degrees with the Costco balls. Spin numbers, again, lower with the Sam's driver, on average 1,989 RPM to Costco's 2069. So about 80 RPM difference there, which is significantly smaller of a difference than we saw with the 7-iron. That's interesting to note. Now when it comes to carry, again, Sam's Club wins out. 232.6 yards to 230.9. So that distance is not quite as significant also as we saw with the 7-iron, but it is there. And in terms of rollout, 255 to 254. So again, a little lower spinning there with the Sam's ball. You're going to get a little extra on the ground with it as well. So breaking it all down here in the launch monitor testing, the Sam's ball, definitely the less spinny of the two balls, sort of bordering on being too low of spin, to be honest, but it does make up for it with that launch angle and a little bit steeper descent angle as well. So it's going a little higher coming down. So we'll see on course when we get to that section, stopping power. But indoors, the Sam's Club ball, also the longer ball, considerably longer with the 7-iron. And again, referring here to the dispersion maps, you can see overall it's the longer ball between the two. Now, before we move on to the next phase of testing here with the balls, I got to give a big shout out to today's sponsor, VKTRY Insoles. I've been using these for a month, and let me tell you, I feel so much better. Firstly, because of the support that they provide. These being a carbon fiber performance-based insole are using special materials that literally trap the force of your swing and then convert it into energy, making more explosive contact possible at impact. If you ever remember using metal spikes, if you're old enough for that, you'll remember how grounded you felt. This is that same feeling, even if you're using a soft spike. I absolutely love it. But best of all, post-round, I feel so much better because the support I'm getting from the VKTRY Insoles helps with my joint pain, my foot pain. All of those aches are gone. I feel like I could play another 9 or 18 holes easily when I finish my round. I love these things. I think you will too. They are really specifically designed for golf, and VKTRY makes insoles for all sorts of sports. So if you play basketball, CrossFit, anything like that, they will help you perform better. But specifically, of course, they will help you in your golf game. Take their online quiz. You'll be able to enter your weight, the sport you play, the shoe size you use, and more, and they are going to craft a perfect insole for you. I'm going to leave a link down below for you to check them out. I promise that your feet will be very happy that you did. All right, now we're moving on to our on-course testing, which for me really is is the de facto tests. Now, my on-course testing happened on consecutive days under identical course conditions. Starting with the Costco ball, with the driver, I felt on course the distance was okay. Again, didn't really blow my socks off, but I didn't feel like I was missing out on too much either. It was kind of vanilla for me. Now, what wasn't vanilla for me was the feel and the sound. Honestly, I don't think using the word atrocious would be too far off from what I felt out on course. Really ear-piercing in terms of sound, very tinny on drivers that shouldn't necessarily sound that way, and it felt like I was hitting a rock with the driver. I just did not like it with the driver particularly. It got a little bit better with some of the other clubs, but driver, no bueno. Now with the irons, I would say I was neutral. Distance and control was decent. Stopping power, again, was okay, but it wasn't great. Now on long range wedge shots from like 80 to 100 yards, this is where I feel like the Costco ball really underperformed. My wedge shots really lacked spin. I really wasn't getting any checkup on them, and they were rolling out just too far for my taste. Now, interestingly enough, when it came to chipping, I actually really liked the Costco ball. In fact, I'd probably prefer the Costco ball for chipping around the greens than the Sam's Club ball. I did get a little bit of secondary check here, as you can see. And all in all, I was able to hit my shots the way I wanted to. Now moving on to the Members Mark ball. With the driver, I thought I was getting, again, good distance. Again, wouldn't blow my socks off for distance, but I didn't think I was missing out on anything either. These balls are also a bit firmer feeling than the balls I generally game, but they were not nearly as hard as the Costco balls felt coming off the driver. I also thought the sound was better coming off the driver here with the Sam's Club balls. Now with my irons, I had really nice, high penetrating trajectory. Again, just like we saw in the launch monitor, I hit them high out on course. They also seem to have good stopping power. I was a little worried after seeing those spin numbers that I wouldn't be able to stop balls on greens, but my fears were quelled on course. They stopped just fine, and I got basically expected distance with my irons. Now with wedges, I could really zip them back. This is one of those perplexing things and why I like to test clubs on course rather than simply agonizing over launch monitor numbers. I was getting really nice check on those 80 to 100 yard shots. Now when it comes to chipping around the greens, my chip shots actually rolled out a bit more than the Costco balls. So interestingly enough, long range wedge shots with the Costco balls didn't really check up, but the chip shots did, and with the Sam's Club balls, it was exactly vice versa. And again, it's why you have to see it out on course to really get the full picture. Now our last category here is durability, and this alone could be the deciding factor on which ball I would decide to game between the two. The Sam's Club ball I found to be much more resistant to marking. In fact, I played an entire round with the Sam's Club ball and I could barely see any scuffs on it. That was not the case with the Costco ball. After just 9 holes with the Costco ball, I had a lot of visible breakdown, some serious scuffing, and it looked like this ball had been through a lot worse when I really hadn't even gotten myself into trouble during that round. But more so than that, when I'm testing stuff on course, I sometimes let my cameraman Sean take a shot, and in this case, he took a shot on a par 3. We actually inspected the ball after that shot, and I couldn't believe what I saw. It was severely marked up from just one strike. So durability absolutely comes into question here with the Costco ball. Again, for that one reason, I would probably vote the Sam's Club ball ahead of it. But when you add in the fact that the Sam's Club Members Mark ball is actually the longer ball, we saw that both indoors and outdoors. And on top of that, I really like how it reacted on the greens from those 100 and in-yard wedge shots. For that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and say that for me, if I was choosing a ball in 2025, I think the best warehouse ball actually comes from Sam's Club. The Members Mark ball is one that I think you should absolutely take a look at if you're shopping in this category. Now, what do you think? Have you tried either or both of these balls? I would love to know down below. I'm sure this video is going to cause a lot of Costco folks to be angry with me, and let me tell you, my criticism of their balls comes from a place of love because I really want to see Costco continue to improve and add to its golf club offerings. But I've got to say, Sam's Club coming into the golf space here for the first time here in the last calendar year with first the gloves and now these balls, they're going to be a strong contender, and I think they're going to win over quite a few fans themselves. But like I said, leave me some comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, because on this channel, on Let's Play Through, we are testing lots of brands that fly under the radar and brands that don't get a lot of love on other YouTube channels. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. And if you do want to see those specific videos testing those Costco balls and the Sam's Club balls, make sure you hit these. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you back here next time on another edition of Let's Play Through.